Yeah, everybody, today doing a little video. Me and Dad are gonna go out the back. We're gonna just go have a look around the farm, bit of an update, what's going on, see how the crops are going. Might go around the sheep and have a bit of a chat about them and what's happening. Have a talk about the cows that we artificially inseminated about 4 weeks ago now, I think it is. Maybe a little bit longer, but also got a little bit of exciting news. So, as you may have noticed in one of the videos of the sowing, the 3505 blowing a lot of black smoke. So obviously it's not meant to do that. We don't want it doing that, even though it looks pretty cool. So we've been looking for another tractor to sort of replace that. Well, not replace it, but take over the work from it. We're going to try and rebuild that tractor over the next year or so, hopefully. Do a full engine rebuild because she's pretty knackered. The rings are buggered in it. She's got a lot of blow-by, so she's got no power whatsoever. So that's why she was struggling to do a lot of work that it was doing this year, and why we couldn't do as much as what we wanted to. So we've been looking for tractors, and yeah, we got a new one. So this is what we got. And when I say new, I mean new secondhand. So this is a 1999 John Deere 6310. Obviously with the front end loader there, which is exactly what we want, because the 135 is obviously very old, and the loader on that, it's not built for going out the back in the mud and lifting up the size bales that we have. And it can lift the feed rings all right for the cattle, but can't lift the bales, and it's a lot of stress on the front axle. And we've had the pivot point pin break before, so it was time to get a bigger tractor with front wheel assist with a front end loader. So yeah, we picked this one up. It's not like that new, 99, so it's 21 years old. It's a bit rough. Engine's pretty straight. It seems to drive all right. Rear guards are a bit banged up. A little bit of work to be done on it. We could use it straight away, but what we're going to do is we'll give it a good service and replace all the filters, go over everything, make sure we can work out what needs to be replaced and what's good on it and whatnot. And we'll probably buy a couple of guards for it because she's a bit tatty. But yeah, so this is the tractor that's going to be taken over from a lot of the work. It's a little bit smaller than the 3505 in size and in weight. Power, well, it's got more than it at the moment. I can't remember exactly how much Dad said the 35 had it new. I think it was around 100 horsepower, maybe a little bit more. This is meant to have 100 horsepower. May have a little bit less, being a few years old now, but it should be able to do most of the work. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. I think having the front wheel assist will probably help out a lot. Whereas the 3505 doesn't have it, so you can't really get out in the sort of the sticky spots. It may struggle a little bit with the cultivator, but I'll get Dad's opinion, see what he reckons and what he thinks it's going to be able to do and how well it'll go. But obviously we're not going to know until we actually put it to work. But it's going to be perfect for doing the slashing, with like cutting hay, baling hay, all that sort of stuff. It'll be great for that, and a little bit of an upgrade having the aircon working. So that's a step in the right direction. So as you can see, is what I was talking about with the guards. Oh mate, we bought it off. He sort of just put a heap of crap on there to hold them together a bit, but she just looks a bit average. So we'll replace those guards and lights and all the buttons and whatnot. The back end's a little bit smaller than what's on the 3505. Needs a little bit of work, just tidy it up and get it all how it should be. But yeah, the front end loader is in pretty good nick. Come with a bucket and a set of bale forks, and there's all the weights and whatnot in there, a few guards for the side of the tractor there. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We'll take some time and we'll go over it, make sure we get everything in pretty good condition, check everything's working and nothing's going to break on us. So yeah, once Dad gets here, I'll get him on the camera and get him to talk about it and see what he reckons and whatever. I think pretty sure this is the first John Deere tractor that's ever been bought for on our side of the family. So apart from the header, this is the only John Deere. So that's pretty new to us. So see how we go. Dad brought the Massey Ferguson over just so we could get a little bit of a comparison of what they're like next to each other. I don't know, we thought the John Deere was a little bit smaller, but putting it up against Massey Ferguson, it's pretty similar size. So see what Dad reckons about it.
Yeah, g'day viewers. We've purchased our second tractor. John Deere. It's not as big as the one we were sort of trying to get a hold of, but it's got a front end loader and it's got good tyres, and we think it'll do the job. We're going to have to do a bit of a tidy up on it. Old mate that had it sort of let the spiders run amok inside the cab a bit and whatever, so it'll be a good little tractor for what we want to do. It's more so for mother anyway, so she can get around and feed her cows and whatever. So we'll be able to use it for hay and lots of other things around the farm as well. So
what do you reckon about it, like pulling the plough and the scarifier?
Might struggle on the plough. We pull the scarifier all right in the combine. Don't know about the cultivator. Have to wait and see. But all the hay equipment and a bit of the tillage equipment, so it'll do the job all right, I think.
Do you think it might be able to sort of half match the Massey Ferguson just being the front wheel assist, or do you think that'll make much of a difference?
Might be able to get on the ground if it was in wetter conditions with the front wheel assist. Might be able to help pull something through, but if it gets that wet, you've got to have 4 wheels dragging you around. Well, you're better off out of it. Yeah, it'll be a handy little tractor.
Alright, well that's what Dad reckons about it, so we'll go about our business, and then when we start sort of doing whatever we're going to do on it, the work we're going to do to clean it up and service it and check out what's wrong and what's needed to be done on it, we'll probably take some footage of that. But we'll probably go out the back now and have a bit of a look out there and see what's happening out the back.
Alright viewers, we're out here in the paddock. Cam and I sowed a bit of wheat in. It's a bit windy, as you can probably tell, but anyway, it's turned out a bit patchier than what we'd hoped because of the way the wet was up here. It got very wet after we sowed the crop, which didn't do it any favours. We've got a little bit down here in front of us, which I would have thought would have been up about here by now if the weather conditions had played the game, but it's been that wet and cold, the grains actually struggled to really kick on. So we really want some dryish, sunny weather to get a bit of warmth into the ground to start making the grass and the wheat grow. We've got plenty of self-sown grass and rubbish. It'll make rough tucker piled up for the cows when we come to cut it, which we hope we will, that the rain won't stop altogether later on in end of September or October, when you need a little bit more to help finish off. So anyway, that's the luck of the game. We'll go and have a look at another paddock I think Cam wants to have a look at, and we'll have another bit of a yak then.
This is the paddock where we were getting stuck. Oh, we weren't getting stuck, but it was so wet that we couldn't actually put the combine in the ground down that back corner, so that's a bit insane. But you would have seen it. I'll put some links up to the videos that we're talking about. Yeah, I'll let Dad continue.
So, yeah, again, it's all been pretty wet. We were only going to put this one in for stock feed for the sheep and cattle to graze on. Again, I'd have liked it to have been a bit taller, a bit further advanced than what it is. Hopefully, if we come back here in 2 or 3 weeks' time, there'll be a bit big improvement with a bit better weather conditions. So we'll just have to wait and see. The other paddock we were going to sow, right out the back there, where you can't really see.
Which is where we had the oats last year.
Yeah, that's right, we bailed up. I'm just going to forget about it and let it naturally run to grass, and hopefully by the time our ewes have lambed, we'll be able to put them on there and give them a bit of fresh tucker as well. It hasn't really gone the way I thought it would this year, because we had so much rain earlier in the piece and it stayed fairly wet during the winter, slowed things down.
How would you compare how wet this year has been sort of to other wet years? Would you say it's been a really wet year, or because I can't, it's been a while since I remember being this wet.
Probably wasn't as wet during the winter time as last year, but because we had a lot of rain here early, a lot of other places didn't get it, but we had rain here early and it stayed wet, and every little bit of rain that fell after it saturated the ground stayed on top and made it awkward to do things. Like, I couldn't bring the sheep in and crutch them up and drench them as properly as what I should have. But yeah, if it fines up now a bit, we could start doing things a bit better. But wasn't a real wet year. It was just damp for a long time, if that makes sense.
It was wet, then it just kept staying wet because every shower would just sit on top.
That's right. Like, it didn't. Yeah, I might have only got 1 or 2 or 3 mil of rain, but it could have been 2 or 3 inches of rain because it just sat on top and the ground was saturated. All our dams are full, they can't hold anymore, and the last lot of rain we had there a week or 2 back, it was just like a river running around in the tracks and the drains and whatnot, because this ground's just chock-a-block full of moisture. So you can probably see, if you keep on putting your foot into the ground like that, it'll turn to mush pretty quick. So it's very wet. That's about all I can tell you now, viewers. So we'll hopefully get some fine weather and come back in another 3 or 4 weeks' time, and we'll have another look if Cam wants to and see what sort of progress we've had then. Hopefully that'll take place and we don't get any more rain for a bit anyway. So see you, bye.
Probably can't see them, but those heifers we artificially inseminated, I think they're them ones over there. Just a quick little update on those. So I think Mum was saying she had to get, it was either 2 or 3 redone, because with those scratchy strips, as you might remember, I'll put a link to the video of when we did them, those scratchy strips and the blue paint, it had rubbed off and the strip had turned pink, so the heifers, they were still mounting each other on 3 of them, so that means that they were still like in season, I guess. So the fella had to come back out again and redo those ones, and as far as I know, the rest of them are all hopefully in calf. The strips and everything didn't rub off or anything, so hopefully they're all going to be in calf, and the other 3 hopefully they become in calf as well. Yeah, and when we 100% know, well, we'll do another update, so maybe in a month or so, and we'll see what's going on from there. one of the old gum trees in one of the cattle paddocks that's fallen over. So we're gonna put the new tractor to work and see what it can do. Dad's gonna have a little play around, see if we can pluck what's left of it off the ground or whatever. So we'll see what happens. Job done. So yeah, that bit of tree just blew over in some pretty heavy wind we had the other day. So it's split what that big branch there is actually like half of going up the trunk, so I'll have a look at it. Obviously hollow on the inside. Going up in there. See, it's hollowed out through there as well. Obviously had a bit of living stuff on it, but the inside was dead, so that's no wonder why she flew over. Alright, so that's us pretty much done for the day. As you've seen, the John Deere did well, lifted that bit of rotten wood, so if it could do that, I reckon it can do anything. So we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching, everybody. Coming up the next few months, there'll be some shearing happening in October, I think, and we've got shearing again in December. Obviously there'll be a bit of haymaking and whatnot coming along. There'll be a few videos coming out on the John Deere. We'll do some work on it, and then there'll be whatever else in between, so stick about for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.